waited till I saw the sun. I don't know why I didn't come. Left you by the house of fun. Don't know why I didn't come. Pause. What? Yo, welcome back to the Crew Mahoney podcast. I'm excited to be back. Me and my silly little podcast talking about all the things I care about. What's new? I'm excited because today I have kind of a fun/funny thing I want to talk about. And I don't even know where it came from. I just think all the dang time and ideas pop into my mind and I go, yeah, I feel like I could rant about this for 30 minutes if I was having the, fake self podcast while I'm standing there in the shower. So might as well just turn it into the real podcast. Can't talk today, but I hope you're having an incredible day. And this topic, I'm going to pull up my little notes here. It's consumerism. So just shopping and buying a bunch of random shit all the time, which is just I don't know if I could say pet peeve. I would say it's more of just a general thing that's super embedded into our culture and kind of bothers me a little bit because, I don't know, it's in this category of mindlessness, which I think is a dangerous way to live. Being mindless in nearly any case is not really the best thing. So definitely want to talk about that. I did want to share something kind of hilarious though. I'm going to pull out my phone here. Because when I'm working with people in kind of a mentorship capacity, over months, I get to know them very well, get to build jokes and really good understanding and all kinds of different aspects to that sort of relationship. And it's really funny. So one of my clients who, mind you, is incredibly successful, which makes this way funnier. But he texted me, he said, flying today at 7 a.m., so I woke up at 3 a.m. to work out before leaving for the airport, which, savage, by the way. That's money. And I said, you are the man. That hyped me up. And he said, you're rubbing off on me, man. And then followed it up. He said, no homo, though. So thought that was freaking classic. But anyways, so kind of my first question here that I'll also be answering because he can't talk back to me in this format, unfortunately. But why do people keep buying shit? Straight up, why do people keep on buying so much shit? Because what I know is that it's not actually going to fill the void. I mean, let's talk about our phones. Let's talk about purchasing random items, buying things to impress people, constantly getting, I don't know, Chipotle. It's not going to fill the void. It's not going to actually sustain in keeping you from what you actually have to deal with. It's not a fulfilling distraction. I mean, no distraction actually works forever. There's not longevity to buying a new thing and then it actually keeps you satisfied forever. It's just a repetition of now you have a new baseline of a thing that you're used to, like a car, for example. Buy a brand new car and then after a few months gets kind of old and then you're looking for the next one. It never actually fills the void. Now, am I anti-purchasing things? No, of course not. I love inventors. I love creating products myself. Maybe I'll do that one day. I love things that are helpful, especially things that kind of emphasize the individual and reinforce what we're capable of as people instead of stripping away our knowledge or capability and then relying on a product. The iPhone or just the phone in general, kind of an interesting one in there because if you're not careful, it actually makes you more stupid as the phone gets more intelligent. So there's something there. But I'm not anti-purchasing things. I'm not anti a company creating a product and selling it to people. I am anti-mindlessness, and a lot of companies that make shitty products, they're hoping that their customers are stupid as hell so that they don't actually think and analyze, oh, is this product something that I need? Is this going to actually help me? Is this healthy for me? So obviously kind of against that. There's a hair in my mouth. Oh, yes. God, when that happens and I get it first try, that is just God reaching down. That was awesome. So yeah, again, generally speaking, not against products. I'm not against things. But I don't love how it becomes almost a mindless obsession for people, and they can't stop. You know what I mean? They can't break out of this thinking that, oh, this next purchase is going to be the one. This is going to be the thing that I'm working towards and buying. So I think that if you went into any kind of consumer relationship with buying stuff, you could go into it and say, look, I know that this isn't going to actually solve any of my problems, but this is a tool, or this is something that I just find fun. I mean, I want to buy a dope ass car one day, so I'm probably going to do that, and I'm probably going to think it's awesome, and maybe when I'm driving, I'll just floor it every once in a while and say, yo, this is sick. That's totally fine. But the people that idolize the car, and they think the car is the solution, and now I've made it, and then they get it and it's disappointing. I kind of refer to this as the post-gold medal syndrome. You win the Olympics, and then the next day you go back home and you go, what the hell? What do I do now? So I think a lot of purchases really give that sort of thing, or that sort of problem to people. So yeah, I mean, again, to touch on the fact that there are many great products, there are many great innovations. I love branding. I'm really interested by all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, I think it turns people into freaking zombies, and it's very weird. So on a societal level, I wish that could kind of chill a little bit. But, you know, I very seldom, you know, I'll be in a shopping environment if I went to the mall or, you know, South Congress here in Austin. But I've gone a couple times maybe in the last year. And I'm going to pick on the ladies for a second, but you walk into a clothing store and you just see all these girls just going from garment to garment, just consumed by the thing, touching it, going, oh man, oh, I love this one. And they hold it up in the air. And, you know, I would say in a general sense, guys do this more with friggin', you know, technology or car parts or some shit. But, you know, even then, people having kind of this zombified state about them, and they're just browsing products, and it's this longing for a thing. And meanwhile, I mean, I used to have a clothing brand, actually. I did screen printing and all kinds of stuff. It was cool. It was middle school, high school. And, you know, it was just fun to make designs on Photoshop and whatnot and print them on T-shirts and do the whole thing. I learned so much from it. But my God, is it just weird to see that people have that kind of consumed relationship with buying clothing. And you know, I think about it and I go, oh, I know that this shirt is maybe worth $1, you know, and the company's selling it for $85. They spent $3 on the darn thing, and people are going, oh my God, this is the best shirt ever, and it's amazing. So I don't know. I overanalyze. Really, it's not that deep, but again, it kind of speaks to a larger message here. So I'm always in a store looking at, God, why does this person love this thing so much? And I'm kind of breaking down the psychology of it. You know, maybe I'm just a little obsessive, but that's kind of where my mind goes. So yeah, I mean, I think, again, to revisit the question, why do people keep buying shit? And it's because it's one of the greatest distractions. It feels like progression. Very similar to going on social media and getting consumed by that whole thing. You go on there thinking you're going to find the answers to something. Even though it's relaxing, maybe in some cases it feels like you're working on something. And for anybody that is a content creator or is starting or thinking about it, you go on Instagram and you can easily justify that you're looking for ideas. You know, you're just trying to get that creativity. I mean, part of it, you got to kind of understand the brain rot and references. And there's a lot of people that are really good at that. And they're great business people because of it. They're great influence because of it. But at a certain point, it's not actually work. You know what I mean? You're not actually being creative. You're not picking up on ideas. You're just consuming. So a lot to think about there. Now, my growing up ideals, I guess, around money were very interesting because I was very much a you know, money buys happiness. Not actually, but I would say, yeah, well, you know, if buying a super cool thing makes me stoked, and then I can hang out with my friends and use, the yacht that I purchased or whatever, then, oh, it's kind of buying happiness. And it was almost, kind of tongue in cheek sort of thing, which I think is the right saying. I don't know. I looked it up the other day and now I'm forgetting what that saying means, but it was kind of a little bit of sarcasm built into it. But I was speaking to the fact that, yeah, I mean, you can purchase things and have a lifestyle around being able to afford a lot, and it kind of makes life better because you get rid of some problems. I would always say it's better to be upset about something from a Ferrari than, the side of the road. But really, that's just me being a little bit funny. Money doesn't actually purchase the happiness. You gotta like who you are, and then the money can amplify that for you. If you're a piece of shit person, it'll amplify it in the wrong direction, and you become even worse because now you can afford being a piece of shit. So kind of my first memory of purchase stress, I guess. I was at Target with my mom, and God, I must have been 5, actually. And there were these Scooby-Doo jean shorts at Target, and I don't know why, but I wanted them so bad. And I remember them being $20, and my mom said, "Well, you can pay for these." And that was just, I mean, it sticks with me, and I don't know, my memory is often very visual based, so I can kind of see where we were in the store a little bit, and I kind of remember what the jeans looked like a little bit, or the jean shorts with Scooby-Doo on the pocket, and I got stressed about this. I mean, this was the first kind of mental battle around the money, because I went, damn, dude, do I want to spend $20 on these jean shorts right now? That feels like it's going to set me back quite a bit. And I remember just having all of these little mental battles with the purchase decision when I was younger. I think I bought a Lego watch or something, and I remember sitting at the mall food court. I was with my dad, and I was going, yeah, well, I have $100, and that's big time. I finally reached the 3 digits. I'm going, man, do I buy this watch? And I think I ended up getting it. But, I have all these little memories of those purchases. And I also have a lot of memories of looking up to super successful athletes and entrepreneurs. I think this is ridiculously common, especially for young men growing up. Because those are kind of the heroes, right? The athletes, the soccer player, the football player, the millionaire who has the crazy mansion, whatever. That seems super attractive. So that's a lot of what I looked up to. Now, I think something cool to note is I saw these people, but I didn't idolize them so far that it was kind of, there's no way this could be me. I always looked at successful people as people, and then I would say, oh, well, this has to be something that I could do if they did it. This is going to kind of have some differences based on my upbringing, my thinking, my decision making, but really the only thing that's different between me and them is the things that happen to them outside of their control, but of course the decisions that they made. So I always held on to that pretty strong. Now, if you think about the purpose behind purchasing a thing, again, there's the distraction element. And there's also this thinking of what else is there to live for? You know what I mean? Because when you really boil it down, if somebody just has a life that is super cyclical and there's not kind of a greater purpose or a greater image that they're trying to paint their life to look like, basically, what is there to live for? The next purchase. And that's a tough place to land for me, because I've defined a lot of purpose in my life. I've defined a lot of directions that I want to go and the impact that I want to have, but I feel for the people that maybe haven't thought through those things, and it is a very stressful and scary situation to think through, or concept to think through. And what else is there to life besides buying the next thing? Right? Purchasing the house, getting the car that you want, buying. And I think our whole society is built on this because it's a very, very low barrier to entry purpose. And purpose is put in massive air quotes here because it's not actually a purpose when you zoom out and go, whoa. I'm sitting here with my heart racing over buying a pair of shoes when it comes out online. And I'm a human being. Look up at the freaking sky, look at the clouds, and take a breath of fresh air and just, whoa, look around. I mean, seriously, that's a crazy kind of, I don't even know. What's it called when someone takes control of someone else's mind? Hypnotist. Yeah. It's a crazy form of hypnotism to be so far consumed with a purchase. So a couple things to think on there. Now, I have been diving into this idea of minimalism for a long time. Not that I'm, reading a ton of stuff about it and labeling myself a minimalist super often, but I would say I'm a minimalist. As you can see, kind of the room behind me, there's very few things. My mom visited Austin to come see me and wanted me to buy this cactus, and we were at this little farmer's market thing, and I'm going, I just don't know if I want another thing. I mean, that's how minimal I tend to be with the stuff that I have, because for me, it's kind of just more responsibility. I mean, when you have more stuff, you have more to worry about. There's more of your mental energy being spent on something that maybe doesn't matter. I see people and they've got their house just full of shit. And then they go to move and it ruins 4 days. And I'm going, I would never, ever want to deal with that. I don't want more stuff piling up. I'm grateful to have had enough stuff to realize that it doesn't really do much for me. I used to love shoes and clothes and all that kind of stuff. And then Christmas comes around and I'm going, God, I don't really want anything like that. I just want to be able to wake up every day and be kind of stoked about life with the least fabrication of being stoked. So I don't want to have to sustain my happiness by getting ultra rich and just buying a new thing every day. I'll still do the ultra rich part, but my fulfillment and happiness is not going to come from purchasing things that 90% of the time are just made to kind of fuel this mental cycle I've been talking about. So, I really like the minimalism idea, emptying your space. It leaves physical space for you, obviously, but it creates mental space like you wouldn't believe. So I've found that very clarifying over kind of my whole life. I've always been super organized, kind of OCD, as people would say, but I'm just neat. I like things to look kind of aesthetic and empty. Some might say it's a little cold, but I mean, that's just what I like. Doesn't mean you have to. I like the minimalism stuff and nice things. So I'm very pro nice things because when something is well crafted, it lasts a long time. You can kind of build a relationship with it, not in a weird way, not My Strange Addictions kind of thing, but something like a cast iron pan or a stainless steel pan. I love cookware stuff because as you use it, you get better at using the thing. It kind of makes you more crafty and more capable instead of, again, the technology, the innovation, the product taking capability away from you. So stainless steel cookware is a great example of this because everyone says, oh yeah, well my food just sticks to it so bad. And they don't just go on YouTube for 10 seconds and say, hey, how to cook with a frickin' stainless steel pan. And you wait for it to heat up completely. And then you do this little water test where you throw some water on there. If the water beads up and rolls around on the pan, then it's hot enough. If it evaporates and kind of just, sprays everywhere, then it's not hot enough. And then once it's hot enough, then you put your oil that you're using to cook on, and it's a beautiful nonstick pan. But it takes 2 seconds of effort, and most people say, oh, no, can't do that. I need to go to the store and buy the damn gasoline slicked nonstick holy shit pan, and I want my eggs to slide around on this thing and flip off the side. And yeah, maybe a little bit of the Teflon or a little bit of the gasoline coating is going to be digested every single day that I'm cooking. But yeah, whatever. I don't want to spend the time learning how to use a stainless steel pan. As you can tell, I'm a little bit passionate about the cookware stuff, but it's simple things like that. Why can't we have more and more products that get better with time? The cast iron thing is a great example. You use it and it gets coated in the oil, and then you wipe it down and clean it, and it's delicate, and it's a thing that improves as you use it, and then eventually it's nonstick because it's built all these layers of oil and seasoning. And I just think that that's the perfect example of kind of what I'm talking about, where nice things are meant to be used. Nice things make you more skilled, and they last, and there's an appreciation for these things, whereas a lot of stuff is just kind of, yep, use it till it's done, boom, get rid of it. I feel like, imagine if phones, for example, had more of an ownership aspect. I don't know what that would actually look like, but imagine if there was something like this relationship with the cast iron pan of making it better, and it kind of gets ingrained into what you do, but not in a shitty way, with phones or computers or technology. I don't know. Maybe for people who build their own stuff, it kind of is that way, but I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. So in my mind, where does consumerism come from? I would say distraction disguised as purpose. And I already kind of spoke on this a couple different times, but really that's the best way that I could put it. Distraction disguised as purpose. If you don't have a readily available purpose, and you say, what's my life about? And it's kind of too big of a question, you can distract yourself by just purchasing a bunch of shit. You do that over and over again. It feels like you're working towards a goal. You achieve something. Boom, new baseline to work from. Now I need to buy the next thing. And it's empty. If you spent your whole life doing that and just chasing down the next thing to buy, you'd become an old person. You'd look back on your life and you'd go, damn it, dude, why did I do that? And then you would die. So don't do that. Maybe spend the time doing the deep dive on who the hell am I? What's my purpose? Answer the hard questions for yourself. Do the old no phone dinner, as you should know about by now, and sit there in the quiet every evening. Wake up in the morning, spend 10, 15 minutes just sitting on the front porch, looking out into the distance. I don't know, create some space for yourself to think about the shit that matters, so you don't make buying random stuff your purpose. That would be my huge encouragement here. So marketing is kind of everything. And this isn't a bad thing. Again, going back to what I said at the beginning of this, a company creating a product and marketing it is not an issue until it becomes destructive. You know what I mean? I can create a business based on something that I care about and maintain that forever. It's people who are insecure, people who just want arbitrary power over other people, and they think that money and all these things are going to be fulfilling, and then they try and create a business that just steals people's money and acts like it's some helpful thing, and it's just a scheme or a scam, whatever. But they are falling for the exact same thing that they're creating for other people. So these big ass business conglomerates that are just, scheming behind the curtain, trying to steal people's attention and just create mindless customers and all these things, they're falling for the same stuff because they're just trying to get rich because they think that the wealth and the power is going to be the fulfilling thing, but they haven't sat there and asked all the hard questions and done the no phone dinner. So it's all just a bunch of bullshit, really. People have this relationship with outcomes that I think just fuels all of their behavior, where instead very few people are actually looking at, hey, what does this mean for my character? Is there any honor to kind of myself and those around me in the natural world in my decision making and my behavior, or am I just acting for outcomes? You know what I mean? So I obviously feel pretty passionate about this because I'm on social media. I run my own business. I sell a service. People pay me money for that service. And I'm always questioning myself to make sure that I'm in check and going, hey, why are you doing this? Because I want to help people. I want to actually change the world as best as I can. I want to have real impact. And God, I mean, optics-wise, that could be 1 degree off from the person just scheming and trying to build a big following and all this influence to screw people over. You know what I mean? And so I feel this constant need to kind of defend. Not that I have a bunch of people going, oh, dude, you're trying to scam people. But I want folks to recognize that there is a difference between those two approaches, and it might look very similar. In anything that I do, I look people in the eyes every day and I say, look, you don't actually need me. You could pretend like you signed up for my mentorship, for example, and spent the next 6 months of your life just getting your shit together, and you'd probably have the same result. My real push, my real offer is that, hey, I've done this myself. I've studied this in person after person. I know what I'm doing. I'm very good at this. But it doesn't mean that I have the secret sauce and I have the key. Because when people say that, they're trying to place themselves above other people. And that pisses me off big time. That pisses me off like crazy, because why are we trying to pretend like some people are just God and other people are just the peasants trying to reach for their information? Every person is just a person. There goes my phone. Every person is just a person that has learned lessons from their own life, their own experiences. And some people choose to capitalize on the value that they've created, really organize that in a way, help other people, share it, put it out there, and make a living off of doing so. Because when you make a living off of it, you can continue working on it and sharing it more. This is such a big deal to me, because I'm really tired of people falling for bullshit, as in false promises of all these outcomes, which again, outcomes and the product of signing up for something is what everybody is so obsessed with. And I tell people time and time again, I go, I'm selling you a hard time, because it is actually hard to make your life better. I could talk about this all day, but I'll try and save your ears here. So kind of like I just said, I have a little note here. It says everything is solution based. Screw that. So people want to purchase a solution to the problems they're dealing with. If you're fat as shit, you want to buy the thing that's going to make you not fat as shit. And what's that? Oh, a secret pill? Perfect. Oh, I want it tomorrow. We've been conditioned for the instant solution to what we're dealing with. Well, if it took you 20 years to get 200 pounds overweight, you got a couple years ahead of you of putting in the actual work to get out of that. But it's not a negative thing, because you either do that, or you're going to spend more and more years kidding yourself, trying to find the solution, trying to buy the magic pill, and then you're going to find yourself even deeper in the hole that you've dug. So just don't fall for all of the solution outcome-based shit that's going to be thrown at you, because it's not going to do anything for you. That's the biggest wake-up call that you can give yourself. Everything that is just, lose weight, get money, buy car, blah, blah, blah. That is stupid, because you can fabricate your way to an outcome, but then you're very much going to realize that the way you arrive to the outcome is actually way more important than just the outcome itself. So it's not about just blatantly losing weight, because you could just cut your legs off and then you would lose a shit ton of weight. You would want to lose weight healthier, because you're trying to create a better life for yourself. You're trying to be able to, play with your kids, or you're trying to be able to do an Ironman or something. There has to be an actual reason behind the things that we're doing. And if we're not looking inward and saying, hey, what the hell do I care about? Then the way to any outcome is going to be full of shit. And then when you wake up and you go, man, I got to do this thing because I'm trying to get to this outcome, but I don't want to do it today. And then you're just going to convince yourself to not do it because you don't have a strong enough reason behind, getting to the gym or doing whatever the thing is that achieves the outcome for you. So the solution-based stuff is just ridiculous. Now, convenience is a killer. This relates so much to the pan rant, because people will do anything for convenience. oh, I don't want to cook my food, so I'm just going to go to a fast food place every single day, and then I'm going to do the mental gymnastics to convince myself that that's okay. And then later on in life, I'm going to be dealing with all these health problems from mindless consumption year over year. And then I'm going to have a new purpose, which is getting to the freaking doctor's office every 3 weeks because I have health problems. How convenient is that? Well, it's not. And then, oh, well, what's the secret solution to this now? Oh, okay, I have this super mystical, elusive health problem that no doctors can solve and figure out. All right, let's see. What drug can I try, or what thing can I buy into that the only reason they created it is to get people like me to give them money? All because of convenience. If I could ask of you, you listener, that I love so much, could you take more time? Could you be less efficient with some of the things like cooking, like connecting with other people, like exercise, like sitting down and thinking about your life? Be less efficient with those things. Because if we're going to rush everything and we never give ourselves the time to sit down and, again, think about what we care about, we're never going to go over to the stove and fumble around and cook the thing and take forever, then we're never going to know what it's like to put in work to actually care about ourselves. Looking out for yourself does not look like going through the McDonald's drive-thru every day to save 15 minutes. Caring for yourself really looks like cooking a meal for yourself and then getting really good at cooking over 365 days. So then you're efficient at that. But that's a form of actually doing something. You are working to maintain your own health. There's ownership there. Then you start looking at what you're eating. And you go, oh, why is there, freaking asshole in my mac and cheese? Oh, God, maybe I should stop doing that. And then you start researching and looking into things. And I mean, it's mindful practice with all of the things that pertain to you liking yourself. This is a freaking huge deal. Convenience is a killer. Please do not fall for the convenience offer that everyone is trying to provide. Take longer. You know what I mean? Waste more time. Sometimes I'll take 5 hours to just edit something that I'm working on my computer, video-wise, because I want to build the skill. It's an investment in the time. It's an investment in the skill set, investment in character. Invest in the things that are not just metrics. Because if you're trying to save minutes, you're getting rid of the purpose. You're getting rid of your self-awareness. You're getting rid of those things through just pure convenience mindset. It's not bad for things to be efficient and save time, of course, but you can't do that at the expense of your health and your well-being in any case. That just does not compute. So please don't fall for the convenience. Now, I kind of already talked about this, but I'm looking at some of my notes here. It's making me laugh. But innovation, this is a big one. So innovation, I touched on this earlier, but it becomes a problem when it goes so far that now the individual becomes less capable. So again, the smartphone becomes so smart that the person using it becomes dumb. The shoe industry, all the running shoes with the trampoline bottoms, I'm just going, why? Why are we focusing so much on the shoes and not the runner? You know what I mean? Our bodies are capable of so much, but now you have some people doing a marathon in normal shoes, and then you have some people doing a marathon in I don't even know what to call them. Again, I just say trampoline shoes because it's so funny. But these things that actually make a difference. Anybody that uses the carbon plated shoes and they're 3 inches tall and you can hear them from a mile away, just they're chewing the damn pavement. And what are we supposed to gather from that? Are we just becoming incredible at making shoes? Are we becoming incredible runners? Are both happening simultaneously? Why do we need to keep making the better and better shoe? to optimize performance. Oh, I know why. It's because we need to see results faster than we can actually produce them. If you have trouble running a sub 3 hour marathon, and then you do that one marathon and you get 3 hours and 14 minutes, and then 6 months later, you do some training but nothing revolutionary, and then you put on this new pair of shoes and you're just cutting minutes off of your time. Can you really say that all of that was due to your training and you becoming actually better? Did the capacity of your body actually change, or did you put new shoes on? What is our goal here? Is our goal to actually see a better time just on the website of the marathon event? Because if that's the case, do the marathon on your bike. Why not? You know what I mean? Start the marathon, jog, and then get in the little safety car. And then have them drive you 26.2 miles, get out, jog through the finish line. And you say, okay, now obviously I'm just over-exaggerating like crazy, but you see where I'm going. The shoe gets so much better. Are we even looking at the individual? So innovation can get a little bit too far. Again, this is kind of just a way over-exaggerated example. The difference between a normal running shoe and a carbon-plated shoe, it's not the same as getting in a freaking car. But again, if you're seeking to understand, you kind of know what I mean here. I just want to see what I'm capable of. So I don't want to keep innovating the technology that I use to get outcomes that are a reflection of my body's performance, as in for a squat. If I did my max squat today, and then literally 2 days later, I just put on a belt, knee sleeves, lifting shoes, listen to my favorite song, have my friends slapping me on the back, take pre-workout, get on freaking testosterone and all this shit. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have a way better outcome 2 days later. But did I really evolve? Did I really get better? The answer is no. And that is just plain and simple to me. So with that, I think I come off as a little harsh and kind of judgmental when it comes to this sort of thing, but that's because I'm just so passionate about people waking up. And I'm not trying to be, the whistleblower for some crazy conspiracy sort of thing, but really it comes down to being a mindful consumer, because so much of our lives are consumed by consumption. Everything is shopping, everything is products, everything is marketing. So if we can be more tactical and actually analyzing those things, I think the world would be a much better place. That said, some ending notes here. If you are watching this video on YouTube, definitely subscribe to the channel, because I post one of these podcasts every single week. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. If you have anything to speak on, any questions that you might have, anything that you would like to hear me speak on in the future, definitely leave that in the comments and leave a like. It means a lot. If you're listening or watching on Spotify, you can give the show 5 stars. I would appreciate the heck out of it. And you can also comment on Spotify. So I'd love to hear what you think. Would love to hear recommendations for future episodes, things you want to hear my thoughts on, all of that good stuff. Now, my newsletter is something that I'm getting more and more excited about, because I'm spending more and more time writing the darn thing. So I'm sending out 2 newsletters every single week. So if you want something that's a little bit less me talking and ranting and a little bit less video oriented, and you want something to read, maybe screenshot, send to a friend, make your wallpaper, that sort of thing, definitely would recommend subscribing to the newsletter. Totally free. It's just me pouring as much value as I can about what's at the top of mind for me into a little email format. So love that. The link to subscribe to that is in the description of this video. Now, last and certainly not least, 3 words, and you know them: no phone dinner. When you eat dinner tonight, you can't have your phone with you. That's the rule. And if you're by yourself, great option. If you're with your friends, great option. If you're with your family, great option. If you're with anybody or nobody, all of those are perfect times to practice the no phone dinner. Bring yourself into the present moment. Embrace a little bit of the humanity. Spend 15, 20 minutes completely undistracted, sitting there with your thoughts, asking yourself what you care about, asking yourself what you got to do tomorrow. Whatever it is, let your mind go where it will. get into that meditative state a little bit. And if you want a little bit of extra reinforcement, the No Phone Dinner Challenge, what's today, August 3rd, it actually started 2 days ago on August 1st, but it's not too late. You can jump into that. Oh, shoot, what am I thinking? Today's August 3rd, but you won't be seeing this episode until friggin' way later because I'm so dialed. I'm two weeks ahead on the podcast. But regardless, this is going to be something I continue to put on, the challenge. So it's $1 to join. It's through the Promise app. I'm going to put that in the description of the YouTube video, show notes of the Spotify. And yeah, you can sign up. It's $1. You can see the leaderboard of people who have been doing the No Phone Dinner for a certain amount of time. Every single day is the goal here. You can comment in the chat, ask people questions, get people's insights on spending time off the damn phone. With that, this has been fun. I like when I get the opportunity to kind of more rant style talk about some stuff like this because yeah, it gets me fired up, and the thought of people gaining some value from this, walking away, maybe thinking a little bit more intentionally about the world around them, that gets me super excited. So I really appreciate you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed the heck out of it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.